Welcome to our discussion. Roger Bertrand is with me and I am Maria Kompanowski. Today's topic is persistence and attitude. We are currently still under lockdown here in the United Kingdom, but we are slightly returning back to normal. And what I have learned recently, Roger, is the fact that people who have been furloughed, they don't really feel like to go back to work. And as you know, people who are on furlough, they get currently 80% of their wages or salary. And when the first term of furlough is going to expire, I think in July, then the scheme is going to be extended at 60% pay until October. However, speaking to some of the business owners in the last few days, it has been quite a surprise for some of those employers to learn that their workers who are furloughed currently, they don't really feel like to come back to work. And they openly state that I'm happy where I am. I'm being paid for doing nothing.
But that's so dangerous to think of that, because what they don't realize, a job is not a fix. In my opinion, it's not fixed. Okay.
It isn't.
And a lot of people think it is, but it isn't. Because if you run a company, let's say I run a company with 50 employees, and then 35 or 40 of them decide that, oh, happy days. And then if I only have 10 motivated employees to carry on and keep the company going, and you know what I mean, and then otherwise there could be no job for anybody, and including myself, at the end of this furlough in October, let's say, because then I would not have been able to produce what I need to produce during that time. And then what people don't realize, a job is not fixed. And then, so that's, it's created by us. And then if we do nothing, like the money at the moment, there is no money that's circulating in the economy, or very little.
Exactly.
And that's doing the economy no good whatsoever.
Exactly, because we are currently living on borrowed financial support.
Yeah.
The government had to borrow money in order to sustain people's employment, which, like you said, long term is very, very dangerous.
It's very dangerous because not only do we have the pandemic, but we also have people who think happy days, but it's not a flipping happy days.
It isn't. People don't realize
no, because
in what.
Yeah, because if I have a company of 50 people, let's say, assume, and then if they assume that I can maintain my turnover until October by some kind of magic one thing, yeah, then they mistaken, because in October they could find themselves, if I am lucky enough to be able to sustain my company, I may not have enough money to employ them back.
Precisely.
And,
precisely. And that is the moment, Roger, where we're going to step into our topic, persistence. Persistence in the discussion today is very relevant to the employers, really. And the reason why is that, yes, we are facing a very, very unusual and very dangerous situation.
Oh, it's very unusual. Oh yes, it's very unusual because, like, if I may say something on here.
Yes.
Okay, because my brother mentioned if I could go to France to visit my parents, because obviously they're very old now.
Yes.
And obviously they are still very good spirit, to be honest, which is really reassuring. But however, he asked if I could come down, but I'm looking at I probably will have to produce document to tell where I am going to go, on the way back, I'll have to produce my address here where I live. I probably will have to isolate myself for 2 weeks in the house. No.
I think the quarantine in UK, yes, there is quarantine in UK now. I
Yeah.
think.
And then for people who come back to the UK.
Is the quarantine still in France?
Yeah, but it's a bit more relaxed than here because you can meet with up to 10 people. So my mom and dad, for example, they can meet with family, no problem. So because
Yes.
in France, we invite each other for a meal very often, which means that this week my nephew and his girlfriend, uh, they went to eat at my parents, and before that, the day before, it was the other son of my brother and the doctor and his wife. They went to eat. My brother went to eat. Then a friend of ours, Bernard, who lost his wife, but she was 83 when she passed. Uh, he went to it at my parents' house, so almost normal in that respect.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom, that follows the Protestant philosophy, she had a ceremony at home because she can't go anywhere now. So she had a ceremony from the Protestant church in the Loire Valley, which is very small Protestant because if we follow the history of France, the Catholic took over. That took it in a very small nutshell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so she had about 9 people that came, not 10 because that's the limit. Yeah. So that's allowed. So there is a lot of little things that are allowed like that, and so the rules are slightly different to what they are
Mm-hmm.
here. And
So-
so I probably will have, but my nephew Charlie, who lives in Paris, he had to provide a document to say that he was traveling from Paris to Angers to visit his elderly nan.
Grandparents. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, grandparents. Yeah, so he had to provide that. So personally, because I'll have to go to France probably soon rather than later, I'll probably have to. I'll have to contact the French consulate. Actually, I'll have to email them. I'll email them just after. Anyway.
So, Roger, what is your understanding of persistence and being persistent?
Well, what my understanding of it is like persistence probably goes hand in hand with consistency.
Mm-hmm.
But you can be consistent, but if you don't persist and carry on, then it's not likely to happen. So for example, if I can give you an example, a personal example, is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. So at the moment I am learning editing with VideoPad, okay? An editing software for YouTube. Or any video, it doesn't have to be YouTube, okay? And then sometimes I stumble over little things and I just couldn't get it. So I tried and I tried again and I tried again. It still was not working, and I tried again until I got some help. But I could have easily said, "Oh, I'm going to get some help in a couple of days anyway. I might as well leave it." I could have said that, but no, I didn't.
Yes.
Because in that respect, I probably don't realize, but at the same time, I am training myself because I'm going to the software. Why is it not working? What's happening? This and that and the other. So, and what I didn't realize I did, I locked all the clips together. All I had to do is to right click and unlock the clips, if you know what I mean. And I would have been able to add the text. It took me about 2 days and I couldn't work it out. I did this, I did that and the other. And but I could have said, "Oh, I'll wait until I have a Zoom with Mick or Michael or whatever." Yeah, and I could have done that, but I didn't. And so, but probably that's what persistence is to persist by yourself as much as you can, and then at least you try yourself first.
Yes.
And then if you can't really do it, fine, okay. Be able to ask for help and not be ashamed for it. You know what I mean?
Brilliant. Yes. Thank you very much for explaining that. And from what you have said, I really would add to it on the same level the attitude part of it, because your attitude is creating the fact that you are persisting in achieving your goals.
Yeah, that's right. It's
Okay,
even though what is my
exactly. So your attitude is helping you to be persistent. And funny enough, just on the basis of attitude, where we come back to it a little later, but there is one interesting thing about the word itself, attitude.
yeah.
This is the only word in the English alphabet
Oh yes.
which creates 100% truth. Because if you write it down on a piece of paper,
You mean
okay,
attitude?
if you write
Attitude.
that word attitude on the piece of paper,
You mean going down this way and
no, going as normal across the page,
okay, attitude.
okay, and then you know that there is 26 letters in the English alphabet, yeah?
That's right. Yeah.
So starting from letter A, that gives you number 1, okay? Calculate which number is particular letter of that word in the line of English alphabet.
But we know A, B, C, D,
So A
E.
is number 1, yes?
D is number 4.
Yeah.
E is number 5. Yeah.
Yes.
And I, A, B, C, D, E, E, hang on, A, B, C, D, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I.
Mm-hmm.
I is 9.
Yes.
And the U, T and U follow each other. So,
That's right. So is
so
which number?
I'm not too sure what number. Hang on, I'll have
Okay.
to.
So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O,
Yeah, P, Q,
P, Q, R, S, T.
no, T is
T is
what?
number 20.
No, 20. So we
And
got,
U is 21.
right.
Add this all up now.
Yeah. Oh, you mean, but then I've got to put 20 twice because there is two 20s.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, so there is three 20s. Okay.
Just double check that it comes to 100.
All right, so 20 and 20 is 40. Okay. 1 and 9 is 10. 20 and 21 is 41. Okay. 41 and 9 is 50. 40 and 10 is 50. Yes, it goes to 100. Yeah.
Exactly. So that is the only word in the English alphabet which comes to 100. So you can say 100%. Okay.
Oh, yes.
So if you put that 100% next to that word, can you
Oh,
imagine the power of it?
oh, I see what you mean. Yes. Yeah.
100% attitude to achieve your objectives, to achieve your goals, to achieve your dreams. Okay?
Yeah.
The attitude creates everything else. So it creates persistence, it creates determination, it creates everything else. Okay? It's how we approach things. So persistence, really, according to some gurus, is as a piece of set of mind. Okay, so it's basically your mindset is at such a thing that, okay, you decide to be persistent or you decide to procrastinate. Okay,
Right.
either way is the attitude that you are portraying towards persistence, towards procrastination.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the symptoms of lack of persistence, in your opinion? You already mentioned a couple, but what other things could show anyone that someone is lacking the persistence, lacking the determination?
Well, one other thing could be that I mentioned earlier that uh, when I was trying this software,
Mm-hmm.
it could be anything, and then and then I couldn't work it out. And I could have tried once and say, oh, well, I don't understand it anyway, because I'm not technically minded. So I'll wait until I am on Zoom with either Michael or Mick, and happy days, because I
Yeah,
leave it to me. And then, but at the same time, and I've realized when I think like that, I correct myself, because I'm thinking, right, okay, so what happens then if they can't go on Zoom because they have something else to do on that day? Then that means it pushes again further down the line what to do. And there was a video one day I couldn't download, and then I tried again, and for some reason it was something to do with the format. Unfortunately, on that day I couldn't be helped, so that took a bit of a knockback. But at least I tried until the end. I couldn't work it out, but I know now. Yeah, but if we don't try, can you imagine how many times you are going to be
exactly.
procrastinating little tasks like that, and at the end of the day you end up not doing it at all whatsoever.
Exactly.
uh,
And you fall into a little trap which feels like a comfort zone. You're blaming everyone else, and it just goes on and on and on.
like my dad's always said, it's a well-known fact, it's always somebody else's fault.
Absolutely.
But
Yes.
we know that it's the fault of the Chinese, it's the fault of the American, it's the French people's fault. Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
but it's not mine. No, no, oh, yeah,
I think, and adding to what you have said about persistence, I think there could be a lack of definitive purpose. So basically, we feel, well, what's the point?
yeah.
What's the point? Why should I bother?
What should I
That
do? Yeah,
that creates lack of persistence as well. So maybe we have no goals whatsoever. There is so many people. If you talk to them and ask them, oh, what's your goal? What's your objective? And they say, oh, what's that? I remember a few years ago, I was speaking to a professional salesperson who have been given targets for achieving some goals, and obviously persistence was one of the key aspects of his work. But when I asked him if he has been given any goals, or the first question I asked him was, did they teach you to achieve goals? And he said, what's that?
well, is that what he said?
Yes. So I said, well, just 1 second. The company was giving you training as a salesperson, and they haven't given you the insides and outs of how to set goals and create goals and anything to do with achieving them. He says, I don't even know what's that. I said, so how you understood the targets for sale that you had to achieve? And he
Yeah,
says, well, I was told that I have to do minimum so many sales, and that's it. To me, it was shock, because a true a sales leadership
yeah,
would actually teach people to set goals for the sales, or shall we say, set targets for the sale,
yeah,
okay?
yes,
But using a certain system of setting goals. What is the ultimate goal? What is the mediocre goal? What is the bread and butter goal, and so on? And the person didn't even know what setting goals meant.
right.
So
Yeah,
how
yeah.
could he be a top performance, a person, salesperson, not knowing the basics?
And it's very bizarre. It's very bizarre that the company didn't train him in that.
Absolutely.
Right.
And this is quite a frequent thing. So basically, the lack of persistence is because goals are not set, because there is no definitive plans about how to go and achieve the sales targets, and so on and so on. So that goes into lack of willpower, that goes into basically learning the bad habits instead of learning the positive habits.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very bizarre. Is the company still in business?
No, that company is not in business anymore, and this gentleman started his own business, and because of those missing points from the sales targeting, from goal setting and so on, his business lasted only I think 2 to 3 months, and he gave up.
Oh, I see. Right. And then, so did you not have the opportunity to train him yourself?
I offered him, but he wasn't ready at the time.
Oh, what a shame.
Yeah,
So,
I had a free session with him, which
yeah.
went very successful, and we had exchange of proposal and so on. And sadly, he decided that because he has got very limited budget
Oh,
to
I
carry
see.
on with his business,
Yeah.
he could not afford to have a coach.
Oh, that. Oh, okay. I understand that.
Yeah,
But you could have actually go online. How long ago was that, mommy asking?
about 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. So he would have had access to the internet, because if he had been earlier than that, maybe in the 90s or something, that would have been different, maybe.
Yes, it would have been different, but his plan B was to create a passive income through network marketing.
Oh, can I take this minute to go or not?
Okay.
Hello, Michael. Hello, hello. Yeah, I was talking about